Are you wondering why anyone would want to see a 1 hour, one-man performance of Book 1 of the Iliad? Hi, I'm Eldon Quick, and I play Homer. And I can think of one good reason. I mean, apart from the fact that it's the cornerstone of Western literature, it's the most alluded to work in the English language, it's, well, I could go on, but the good reason, it's one hell of a good story. You know, when Homer set out to create the Iliad, he did not have in mind creating great Western literature. He had in mind creating great entertainment and making lots of money. And to do this, he elevated the craft of storytelling to new heights. He invented a method of storytelling by where the narrator could bring the characters to life before the audience's eyes, revealing their deepest heart and soul. The tools he had to work with were himself, his voice, his imagination, and his incredible understanding of human nature and history. With these tools, he created a one-man stand-up act that has lasted for 27 centuries. Now, recently, I can find no evidence of any professional performance, theatrical performance, using Homer's one-man stand-up act. You know, for the life of me, I can't think of why not. It is so full, it's so rich, so contemporary. Perhaps it's the daunting task of memorizing it. I took 5 years to memorize Book 1, but I wasn't in any real hurry. Perhaps it's the language. Many translations are difficult. I use Robert Fitzgerald's translation. He follows the original Greek line for line, but not word for word. His English is very accessible, and yet he's true to the author's intent. Perhaps it's because when you read the Iliad, the characters can't really come to life like they do in a performance, like Achilles, young, oh, so young, doomed, full of his own sense of self-honor.
I swear, the day will come when every Achaean officer will groan to have Achilles back. And on that day you shall no more prevail upon me than this dry wood shall flourish. Driven though you are, though 1,000 men perish before the killer Hector, you shall eat your hearts out, raging in remorse for this dishonor done by you to the bravest of Achaeans.
Agamemnon, whose every word, every thought, every action have one goal: the acquisition of more power.
Desert, if that's the way the wind blows? Will I beg you to stay on my account? I will not. Others will honor me. Zeus, who views the wide world, most of all.
There's old Nestor. He's the wisest and oldest of all the Achaeans. It's just that, well, for Nestor, what happened 60 years ago is as fresh in his mind as what happened yesterday.
Give me your attention. Both are younger men than I. And in my time, men who were even greater have I known, and none of them disdain me. Men like those I have not seen again, nor shall.
You know, the gods come and go in the Iliad just like human beings. And in fact, they're often mistaken for human beings. And, well, they would be human, except that they can appear as whatever, wherever, and whenever they please. They are immortal, and when not interfering in the affairs of human beings, they spend their time feasting and drinking ambrosia on Mount Olympus. Zeus is the most powerful of the gods, the father of all the gods, supreme, but Well, Zeus, too, has his days.
Here's trouble. Oh. You drive me into open war with Hera. Sooner or later she will be at me, scolding all day long. Even as matters stand, she never rests from badgering me before the gods. You take the Trojan side in battle, so she says. Oh.
Hera, Zeus's wife, and also his older sister. Most of the time she's very dutiful and obedient.
Who is it this time, schemer? Who has your ear? How fond you are of secret plans, of making decisions privately. You could not bring yourself, could you, to honor me with any news of this new plot?
Hephaestus, he's the master craftsman of the gods, and, well, he would come to his mother's defense, except that, well, long ago he learned discretion would be the better part of valor.
The Olympian is difficult to oppose. Once before I took your side, he caught me round one foot and flung me into the sky from our tremendous terrace. I soared all day. When the sun dropped down, I dropped down too, on Lemnos, nearly dead. The island people nursed a fallen god.
Book one is best performed in an intimate setting, as Homer would have done it, with no props, no set, no costumes, no lighting or sound enhancement. I've performed in living rooms, in small theaters, in lecture halls, in restaurants. All that's needed is an acting area of about 6 by 10 feet and an audience. Children over the age of 10 seem to enjoy it as much as any adult. An introduction of about 12 minutes gives a contemporary audience the same background that Homer's audience would have had. It also serves as a frame for the work so that people not familiar with the Iliad or with Homer have an idea, they can appreciate who Homer was and what he did. And almost everyone has heard of the Iliad. A few of us have even read it. But how many have seen it performed live from memory as Homer intended it to be? The text of the Iliad, the epic poem, is considered to be one of the great works of art by man. But the text is only a script. And like a play, the script doesn't mean anything until it's performed. And the Iliad in performance is, well, like I said, one hell of a good story. It's one I'd like to share with you. Thank you.